Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Welcome to the Ankler Podcast. I'm Elaine Lowe of the Series Business Newsletter, here with Sean McNulty and Richard Rushfield on Thursday, October 31st. Congratulations to Dodgers fans everywhere on that World Series win. Even I tuned in for several minutes each game. It was that riveting. What about you, Richard? Did you watch any of the sports ball?
My only sports that I watch are the Dodgers in the postseason. That's my one.
So you're actually highly educated on this topic.
I'm very interested. And I think it was kind of the best case scenario to, first of all, win on their home turf. To beat both New York teams is just a terrific thing. And I wish they had more teams that they could send at us for us to beat. And then to have the celebration at their stadium there and make them watch it. And then I like that we won on their mistakes, that they blew it so that it's extra painful to the Yankees fans. So I think it was just best case scenario. And Sean, I think you should apologize to us for having the temerity to let your teams pose such a great team like the Dodgers. You should have stood up at the beginning of the National League thing and say, let's just give them the trophy. We don't deserve to play in a stadium.
Well, I think the Fox Corporation might have not have agreed with that, Richard. Skipping the games may not have worked out well for their deals. But did you send a thank you letter to the Charter Corporation for the big money they pay the Dodgers every year to afford all those players, Richard? That incredibly rich deal that they have there that no one else in the MLB has it?
Why shouldn't we have the most expensive team? We're the best city. It's, we deserve it all.
All right,
Wait,
you got it.
Sean, are you a
Congratulations.
big Yankees fan?
No, I'm baseball is probably the bottom of my this top 4 sports. So I'm more of a bystander. I grew up a Met fan, so if anything, there's that. But no, I'm busy. I'm too busy watching the Giants lose to worry about baseball. So that's more my concern at this point.
Well, what about a Halloween? Do you have any Halloween plans? You dressing up as anything this year, like the Ghost of Cable Pass, the G4 network?
Yeah, is there a cord cutters go around cutting cords all the time? That'd be about the extent of it based on the Comcast earnings report today. So yeah, no, you're looking at whatever I'm wearing right now is what I got. So clearly, I look like a podcaster right now. I look like a newsletter writer. That's it. Yeah.
We should have encouraged costumes on the pod today. Now that we have a video,
you're not going to know to dress up. In my defense, there was no note. So
no, it would have been weird if just one of us had dressed up.
That also might have been a problem. So yeah, I think we all chose wisely.
So I know you've had your head in earnings today, which is why I'm hosting. And like you covered Comcast and Roku, and as much as our listeners would love to hear about operating income and free cash flow, I think the headline on Comcast here is the company's exploration of a possible sale of its cable TV networks. So, like, whither the future of Bravo and My Real Housewives, Sean? Like, what's happening here?
Yeah, I mean, the consumer won't know much about this. This is more getting it off the Comcast books. So the idea is it's very broad, and as Mike Kavanaugh said, they're conducting a study. Richard, you love a good study. So this is a study to see if this is a good idea or not, to essentially spin off the cable TV business, cable TV networks business, not the cable business will stay with Comcast, but this is just your Bravo, CNBC, MSNBC, USA, etc.
So what is the meaning of it when you say in the context of an earnings call? What does conducting a study mean? So does that mean
Richard? This is a new one. I will say this is the first time I can recall hearing someone say and that was I was slacking with our executive editor David Litsky about it, and we're like, why do you need to announce this on an earnings call? This is a very official SEC, kind of thing. And this was prepared remarks, Elaine. This wasn't, an off-the-cuff response to a question. This was something they wanted to have out there. This is essentially them floating a balloon out. Like, last summer we had, of course, Iger on CNBC floating his.
Yes.
What if we did something with these TV business?
ABC,
What do you guys think about this? So this is This is Comcast, NBCU's equivalent of that. Is let's put this out to the street and see if this gets some traction. This, of course, is an idea that an analyst, Jessica Reeve Ehrlich, had put out to Warner Brothers earlier this year, and Warner Brothers essentially said this summer, yeah, we looked at it, we didn't think it was a good idea, and we're not doing it. So that was a curious side note. So
how's the street reacting so far to the Comcast exploration?
Yeah, the call was this morning before hours. It was up 6-7%, but it came back down to 2 or 3%. The rest of the news wasn't that great. So, again, it was hard to read that. I mean, again, Comcast is a cable company. The cable networks are a problem, but it's not problem or, job 1 or even job 3 or 4 probably at Comcast. So that reacts to a different metric.
So help me break down this quote that you highlighted in the wake up this morning from Comcast
quote,
President Mike Cavanaugh, who, again, unprompted in prepared remarks, was like, quote, "As you know, we chose not to participate in the M&A process around Paramount in the earlier part of this year, but we would consider partnerships in streaming despite their complexities." What's that all about? Why is he name-checking another company in his opening?
That was not in response to a question. Hey, why didn't you get it on the Paramount deal? You ever think about doing something with Paramount? So it was just like, joking. It's like telling the police detective, I don't know where Bill was at 7:00 and be like, we didn't ask you about Bill. So, it's a little like you're clearly telegraphing something like, obviously these calls are not video. So there's somebody was winking pretty hard, I think, during that comment or something on the earnings call, to Wall Street.
What does that mean? Is it pointing to like a Peacock, Paramount Plus tie-up? Like what are we thinking here?
They were, of course, asked about it and said, that's all we have to say on the matter. Of course, we're not going to give you any more detail. We just happened to put that out there into the world, but that is all we have to say about that. So
wait, there weren't like a ton of follow-up questions about that?
No, there was an analyst who asked, but they just literally just said, kind of refer to our earlier sentence, and that's all we're saying on this. Very very playful on this call, Comcast.
Yeah, playful and Comcast earnings are not two phrases I would pair usually.
Exactly. Nothing like a cable TV call to be really just putting some stuff out there. Paramount, of course, is up next Friday, so we'll see if they have anything else on the matter. They'll certainly be asked about it if they don't make their own statement.
They have a demure little comments about Comcast on their call.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a lot like notes passed back and forth on the earnings call. So we shall see if they name drop Comcast on their call.
Wait, so what else should we know about earnings today? Anything interesting on the Peacock front? I mean, the Paris Olympics must have done okay for them, no?
Yeah, it was it's just, Peacock. I like Peacock. I will say on the record, I enjoy it. I like the interface. I use the product, but the business model, the raison d'etre for this thing, it lost another $436 million, which is lower than last year. The losses are lower. The first 3 quarters of this year, it's lost $1.4 billion versus $1.9 billion for the first three quarters last year. It added 3 million subscribers. This is with the quarter with the Olympics and the exclusive NFL game, which they really didn't mention on this call, which is kind of surprising given how much they talk about those games so much. But they added 4 million customers last summer. So that bump is fine. It's, okay, but not great. But, again, they've added 8 million subscribers from, the past 12 months, and they raised prices in Q3, and they've only put a dent made a $130 million difference in loss between the 2 quarters, year over year. The question just becomes that how many subscribers when is this going to turn a profit, and how many subscribers do you need to get there, or how many price hikes do you need to get there? Because you're still losing 1.5 billion, or probably close to, maybe say, call it 1.8 billion a year on this thing, and you're going to raise prices more. I mean, there are 36 million subscribers. They're US only, Elaine. So the ceiling, is going to be, I don't know, maybe 50 at best. So.
Now, have they started doing what everybody else is doing, the password crackdown, or are there not like a ton of people sharing Peacock accounts?
It's a good question. That was not brought up, and they have not really mentioned that, Elaine. So perhaps that is a lever that they will pull. I mean, they're still adding 3 million subs a quarter, so they don't really have to, quote unquote, have to do that yet. But that's something that, if that number comes down to like 1 or 1.5 after a while, you probably will see that. But they haven't mentioned that yet. So.
Interesting. I mean, Richard, let's say this little Paramount mention does turn into something like, I feel like people perennially are like Paramount Plus and Peacock. Like, why not?
I mean, it's still Paramount Plus and Peacock does not equal one Disney Plus, shall we say?
Well, it's a lot of sports
good
rights,
stuff
I will
on
say. It's a
Peacock,
lot of
I feel
sports
like.
rights you're combining there. I could see some, I mean, it's Taylor Sheridan, Yellowstone's already on Peacock, so that solves that problem.
Traders and Survivor on one station.
That's true. That's
Those
true.
are your shows, Richard?
You have a
Big Traders guy, right?
Yeah, those are both my shows. So that's a mega
combo. Yeah.
Yeah.
CBS and NBC essentially coming together. So, that's
Beavis and
potential.
Butthead and Strays together.
A winning
Sure, that's
combination for Richard Rushfield.
Yeah. That's,
Okay, I'm starting to like this.
yeah. we've turned Richard around on this, Elaine.
I feel like we haven't heard Strays mentioned enough on this
It's been a call.
podcast
That's
lately.
a deeper cut of
It's a
our
deep
later
cut
pod.
now.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Up next, pivoting over to another company that reported today, Roku. Break it down for us, Sean. Like, what are the main takeaways
Now we're going
here?
for the real clickbait stuff here. Like,
That's the Roku chat.
Can we try to keep this like high-minded here? Not
High-minded.
Get in these
Yeah.
Roku earnings gutter.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned, Sean, all of the streaming subscriber numbers, but it's like Roku's like, we're not going to do that anymore. We're going to take Netflix's lead, right?
Yeah, no more household numbers for you, Wall Street, come 2025, following Netflix's lead to bear. But we don't need to, the spin on this is just getting embarrassing, Elaine. It's just like, just say you don't want to tell us anymore.
Now, is it because they're reaching saturation? Is it like a plateauing numbers thing? Like, why?
Yeah, I mean, like they're not telling you that. They're saying, to better understand the company, you just look at our revenue. We're helping you to better understand our company by telling you less about our company. Is essentially what the the
Focus
pitch
less
is.
on
But-
the horse race, people. Like,
Yeah,
big
nothing.
picture,
Don't
big
mind
picture.
over here. You want to look over here, which is always great to hear on a call. I mean, essentially, the growth going forward is going to be from international, which even they said is the revenue there per subscriber is a fraction of what they make per subscriber in the U.S. So if you take away the subscribers, you just know the revenue, so you won't know that number that our quote-unquote our friend ARPU, average revenue per user, is going down, which they don't want you to see. So that is essentially, ostensibly, again, that's my interpretation of the move, not their official policy, Elaine. But
I mean,
that's
like, what's your
happening.
take, like both of you, what's your feel for like the health of the FAST business in general right now when we're talking about like free ad-supported TV?
Richard, do you use it at all?
Yeah, what's your go-to FAST channel, FAST platform?
I'm not a target. I appreciate the value of FAST. Like, being in this business, I have to have all 40 services subscription services. So there's few moments where I'm at a loss for something to watch.
To go to fast. Yeah.
So-
No, I hear that. No, it's kind of, I mean, it's a cable interface. I'll drop in at night sometimes and just see what's on like it is.
Oh, you will?
literally,
You'll like actively seek it out?
Oh, yeah. I'll pop on a Pluto. They have like 12 movie channels, and I'll pop in a movie for half an hour late at night. It's like cable. It's cable TV. Is what literally what's on TNT and USA. It's free. So
I do that from time to time also, and it's good. You could spend a lot of time on Tubi or one of these. So
yeah, no, and people. I mean, that's just, Elaine. They're up to I think 80 million. I mean, Samsung has their own platform. They said that 88 million users. So like this is a pretty mass appeal product in terms of the numbers they're getting, but nobody's making any money. I mean, Roku lost $36 million.
I mean, we were having a little bit of I think spirited is too strong of a word, but we were having a conversation on Slack earlier where executive editor David Litsky was again saying like, but who's making money off of this? Like, is this a good business? But the point isn't, I mean, it's sort of a little bit like a loss leader in some ways, right? Like you're supposed to upsell you sometimes to like, if there's like an SVOD or some other kind of, it's an ad network, basically. They're supposed to sell you other things through FAST.
Right, but Roku as his own entity is not making any money. So it doesn't. If it's selling more Disney Plus subscriptions, that's great for Disney Plus. But in the end, is Roku making money on this business model? No, is your answer.
If you're a FAST pure play.
Yeah, that's your answer. No, Amazon's enthusiasm for freebie has certainly gone down over the past couple of years. They've been putting original series on there for a few years. That's the Bosches are done. The other that they've put all that stuff into Prime, so they've soured on the business. Fox will, of course, they have their earnings call on Monday. They'll be, of course, saying how Much they love the Tubi business, which does not make money for them either. So it just like they're amassing these very large viewers. Like, I'm glad to see this is a growing business from a user point of view. It's free. Yes. People don't want to pay for stuff. Yes. Is this a future business model, to employ people and make money? That hasn't been shown to be the case yet, Elaine, and Roku just confirmed it. They had their projection for Q4 is to lose another $65 million. Again, same question as Peacock. How many users do you need to have here to turn a profit? Because you are not. And no one is answering this question, and no one's asking this question. They're just saying, oh, FAST is great. Oh, these people are coming in. Well, yeah. Funny how when you give things away, it's a great business model.
Everybody talks about it as the big growth market right now, but yeah, where does it lead?
It's I gotta wonder, but
right.
Not money. Yeah.
Like, I gotta wonder, like, how much does Pluto TV sort of translate over to people who then sign up for Paramount Plus? Like, is there a pipeline there, like for a company that owns both FAST and an SVOD?
Yeah, I mean, they stopped telling us the Pluto numbers about over 2 years ago now, Lane. So that tells you enough right there in terms of what they want. Again, obfuscation of numbers. So, but Pluto wasn't even in Paramount. Has nothing to do with Paramount Plus, other than there's some like Paramount Plus channels like Showtime programming that have older episodes of stuff. But the two interfaces do not meet.
That seems like a little bit of a missed opportunity.
Many people have brought up that point. It's been brought up to Paramount, and maybe David Ellison will have a different take on that when he gets the keys next year. But yeah, that would be something to feed in there. But so far, no. So anyway, find the money in FAST. Let me know when you find it out there, everybody. Let me know where it is, because I still can't find anything of a profit. So.
In all this, therethere's going to be a great sorting and a new structuring. And somewhere in there will be the equivalent of the DVD 99-cent bin, where you get 3 Gary Cooper DVDs for 99 cents or 2 movies you've never heard of. And I think they're well positioned to play that role, provided that their content costs are, in the 99-cent bin, you didn't find the hottest new blockbuster a week after it arrived in theaters.
Yeah, and that's essentially a lot of these are library plays, or Elaine said, the amount of FAST channels. I mean, it's probably over 1,000 at this point. I don't even know what it might be. But yeah, there's usage there. The 99-cent DVD business was a business. You could make direct-to-DVD movies and sell them at this price, and that was a model where people made a profit. That profit has not materialized for the players in this space yet, and I've yet to hear, but when we get to this is where the real action happens. That hasn't been articulated, and no one's asked and no one's telling. So pick up the signs there, and it's like, all right, I love the usage story. It's great to have people coming in the excitement for a new growth area, but people like to be paid in dollars. And if you're sacrificing viewers from the cable bundle where you did make money for the FAST service where you're not making money, that's not very good.
And with that, let's turn our attention to basically the only thing anyone is talking about, which is the election, which we'll get to after our break, breaking down its potential impact on the entertainment industry. And in the meantime, don't forget to check out Ashley Cullen's interview with Jason Blum and Richard's latest on the LA Times and its inner turmoil. We'll be back in a moment.
You've maxed out your 401k, you're contributing to an IRA, and making some other investments. You're ahead of the game and doing well. But where do you go from here? The same old story can only get you so far. If you want a new take from a new type of financial professional, we invite you to get a fresh perspective beside an agent with the backing of New York Life. Insurance, investments, retirement, and more. Visit NYL.com to learn more. Investments are offered through registered representatives of NYLife Securities, LLC. Member FINRA SIPC, a New York Life company.
Hi, I'm Elaine Lowe in Los Angeles, coming to you from the heart of Hollywood.
And I'm Minori Ravindran in London, reporting from the UK about the international market.
Together, we write the Series Business newsletter for The Ankler.
Series Business is a twice-weekly newsletter for paid subscribers to The Ankler that dives deep into everything you need to know about the rapidly evolving TV industry.
We've got an insider's perspective on where the jobs are, what's selling in the market, who's buying what kinds of shows, the new bottom line for budgets, and, of course, any and all industry shakeups.
Join us every Monday and Thursday for all the essential information you need for your job and career. Sign up to receive Series Business as part of a paid subscription on theankler.com.
All right, welcome back to the Ankler podcast. Okay, so the election is in mere days, and it's basically all anyone has on their minds right now.
Speak for yourself, Elaine. Speak for yourself.
No.
Right,
Sean is out there touching grass, guys.
No, I'm on earnings calls. I have nothing.
I mean, honestly, get your head out of this Comcast earnings gutter and think about some.
Man, I got Apple, I got
things.
Fubo, I got Charter, I got plenty to keep me busy going in. So
Okay, so maybe not Sean, but most of the rest of us are at least ambiently receiving a lot of these, if not text messages.
Tell me what's out on the other side of the world here, Elaine.
The
Yes.
endless number of political text messages.
Us weirdos who don't spend their day
exactly. What are you people doing? I don't understand.
wondering about if Charter's EBITDA's.
That's going to be a barn burner tomorrow, Richard. Come join me at 8 a.m. for it. It's going to be great.
But Richard, I mean, like, what's your thinking around this as we're coming up on this election, which I'm sure, we will just be talking about for days after next Tuesday.
If we're lucky, just days after. Might still be talking about who won for a few months to come here.
Still be counting hanging chads.
Yeah. As you say, it's all anybody wants to talk about this week. It's kind of a big one, and it's close, too. So that makes for some real drama. For Hollywood, I think the question is would a Trump victory be a starting gun for the long-awaited wave of convergence we've been promised? Is Brian Roberts just waiting for some new commissioners to give him the all clear to go and buy up Warner's? Would Apple suddenly not worry about the blowback if they buy Disney or something? Mm-hmm. And that's the big question there. On the other hand, if Republican administrations lately produce a kind of wave of very serious, intense documentaries and political dramas that poison the box office for a decade after that. So we can look forward to all those sort of turgid dramas about what's really happening here that end up being total disasters. So there's that. And I don't know, how are you all going to be watching election night? What is your channel of choice?
I haven't thought about
Sean,
it.
are you going to tune in to the play-by-play, or?
I mean, I'll be writing at night, so I always have something on the background. So I'll probably be.
You're going to watch Brian Williams on Amazon Prime?
I'll probably check the Amazon thing out. I'm curious. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, I think that's going to be my choice. It sounds like they've got.
All right.
A little Brywye.
We got 2 out of 3 here at least.
Amazon, 2 curious customers here. Yeah.
I mean, the news networks couldn't do a worse job of keeping us interested and saying anything remotely illuminating during one of these nights. So I think there's a few people hoping for something a little more candid, maybe.
Elaine, maybe a little Kornacki cam for you on Peacock. Peacock has 3 streams going, I think.
Unlimited khakis.
A dedicated Steve Kornacki cam is a part of the mix there on Peacock. So that could be part of a fun night there on streaming. But yeah, network TV, listen, like I said, I'll check out Amazon. I don't know that I'm going to, I'll post up shop there for the night. I would probably, go to good old broadcast for me. They probably have it, in that sense. But it's the personalities.
I'm curious what their format is going to be on Amazon. If you have an opportunity to do something different,
exactly right.
I mean, I'm not saying it's going to be, how terribly different could it be from a traditional broadcaster's desk for a topic so serious? But still,
yeah. How do you break this model of just you have to report results and have a map? I don't know that it's really, other than again, it's really coming down to it's the personalities. So they have James Carville, I think, is on there, and they have a few, they're having
and Mike Murphy also.
Mike Murphy. So if those are your guys, you're going to go to Amazon. If you want Lester Holt, you're going to be on NBC. If you're a David Muir guy, you're going to be on ABC. If you're CNN, I think it's just really a matter of that versus they're going to have the best version of this as much as Cornette.
I think it's the networks. They speak to this audience of kind of 90-year-olds who barely know where they are, and they sort of have to say, it's election day. On this day, we Americans everywhere leave their houses and go to polling places, and then we cast ballots. It's sort of assuming zero knowledge, and you just have to wade through all that. And in theory, the Amazon one could do less of that kind of civics lesson back step there.
But will they have like a holograph?
A holograph?
Yeah, like, what were some of all the weird stuff that like some of the cable
like
news
CNN
networks?
does that stuff. Yeah, like John King was doing that for a while.
What's their gimmick going to be? I want to know what the shtick is going to be.
CNN will probably have something. Oh, I don't know. They have new leadership now, LA. Maybe those are days. This isn't the Zucker era. This is a new era now.
Virtual production backdrop they have down in
they paid for
Culver
it.
City. I don't know.
Jeff Bezos will land a rocket in the middle to announce that he's endorsing after all.
Is he joining Brian Williams? We have a special correspondent, Jeff from Seattle, is calling in.
Now that the votes are cast, I will tell you my endorsement.
My endorsement. Yeah, exactly. But it's good, as our millennial spokesperson here, the kids even going to watch the linear TV? How's that generation going to experience this? But where do they go to? They can't watch.
I don't know. I was talking to somebody yesterday who told me they get their news from TikTok, and I was like,
right, but there's no live stream on that, so it's like I guess you could live.
There are live streams on.
There are live streams on it. But I don't know, like
Sean, you reveal your.
I'll proudly say TikTok is not on my phone. That's fine, but
do any of us here even have TikTok? I suspect you do.
Richard definitely does.
I watch tons
of TikTok.
I love TikTok.
He's on it right now.
I am slowly being convinced to download.
I get recipes on TikTok. I see old clips from Monty Python on there. I see videos from the latest hurricane of.
Do you get you get news? Flooded. You get weather news at least.
Yeah, it's everything I want.
That's everything you want? Okay, all right.
Pretty much.
It's quite a list there, Richard. Well, maybe you'll be there on election night, so that could be the case. But I don't know. I wonder if YouTube is out. I don't know that. I haven't checked. I probably should. If YouTube is holding something, I mean, the most popular video platform in the world
must be doing something.
Live streaming their things on YouTube, so that would be another thing
no
to
millennial
watch,
I know is going to watch even local or even cable news, I don't think. I think everybody's just going to check their phones furiously.
Could be that.
Constant page refreshing.
All right. There will be an NBA game that night that I'll be watching, so maybe we'll be watching that. But
wait, is there?
Tuesday night NBA, there should be, yeah.
Okay.
Every Tuesday night. So,
what I would do if I'm running a studio is
please
whatever project I have to pull the plug on or anything I have to cancel or take off you got a great day to hide some bad news.
The Friday afternoon news dump on a Tuesday. Yes,
Tuesday
exactly.
Tuesday at 5, just announce you're pulling the plug on this project. And,
I'm just going to let people know now. Either there's a wake up on Wednesday morning. There will be one. So I will see that, Richard. I will see your move. I'll be the only person watching.
Announce a secret love child a la Dave Grohl before the VP debate. Now's the time on Tuesday.
That's it. Just off the news cycle. So yeah, good point, Richard. That's just a note to all the corporate communications teams out there. In case you have something you've been holding back for a while, let it rip.
But Richard, you talk to a lot of high level folks. I mean, like, what's their feel for things they're interested in doing? Depending on what kind of administration we have, a Harris administration or a Trump administration.
I mean, I don't hear anybody feeling like anything different would ensue if Harris wins, but really being braced for what does it mean? Is it the starting gun on the consolidation with Trump and also all sorts of people making plans to resist and put barricades on the middle of San Vicente and everything else. So.
Yeah, but I think obviously the Paramount deal is we do have a deal pending government approval as we speak. So that is the first, I think, order of business here. Larry Ellison, of course, has certainly given money to Trump causes in their Trump's Republican campaigns in the past. I'll put it that way. And they're hoping to get that done as quickly as possible. And they have the current deadline of, end of Q2 next year. I've heard a lot of things around that they want to get this done hopefully before end of Q1. So that may be an accelerant on the Paramount deal. Not that that's going to affect the deal at all. And that doesn't really, even if a Harris administration or a Trump administration, I don't think that, it's not a deal that has any real big controversial elements to it in terms of you're combining two TV networks or things like that. But otherwise, but also go talk to AT&T and Warner Brothers about a Trump administration and a media deal. Trump in Hollywood is not like, oh yeah, you guys are fine. Like, there could be a converse.
They had the mistake from their perspective of having a TV network that involved in it that was trashing Trump.
Well, he also hates NBC News. He hates CBS News. He was, he's revoked their license and all the other crap that he puts out there. So there's no smooth sailing for anybody over there, I think. ABC News and Dana Walden and Kamala Harris. Like if Iger wants to do something, who knows?
You've got these three companies with the biggest cash supplies in the world of Facebook, Amazon and
Apple,
Apple
right.
there, just sitting on mountains of cash that really haven't done any major acquisitions for 4 years now.
Is this all
And,
leading back to your Apple Disney prophecy?
Yes, I think all those companies have made a point in various loud or quiet ways, endearing themselves or dampening the hostility from a potential Trump administration. They've been sitting on the sidelines of the M&A world for 4 years, and they have tons of cash. And they all, in various ways, have shown interest in Hollywood. And you have a lot of struggling entities here. So distressed assets.
It's possible. It's possible.
Well, I can't imagine if we do wind up having a second Trump administration that this town will be talking about much else for many, many weeks. I mean, that's something that's just going to suck all the oxygen out of the room for a long time.
I would think so, yeah.
And then shifting gears back to the industry, Richard, you have a pretty juicy interview coming up with Kathy Kennedy, right?
Yeah, I went up today with Kathy Kennedy and Frank Marshall, husband and wife producers, they just produced a new documentary about John Williams, and they produced it along with Ron Howard and Ryan Grazer and Steven Spielberg and many others. And so we had a talk about this composer who I watched a documentary, and it's really kind of unnerving, like how many of the theme songs of our life that he did. When you see them all together, it's like, I mean, I knew he did.
Yeah. I've run to John Williams at the Hollywood Bowl. Yeah. So I was like, oh yeah, he did that and that and that.
I mean, Jaws, Star Wars, Close Encounters, Harry Potter, Raiders of the Lost Ark, the NBC News theme
NBC
song.
News, there we go, yeah.
Really? I didn't know that.
The Olympics theme. It's like, it just...
Prolific.
It's everything. One thing is, like, one of my bugbears has been, why don't we write... What happened to this great era of theme music? What happened to all the great scores and theme music?
We know
we
your
used to have?
appreciation for theme songs, Richard.
Yeah, I mean, but the great movie themes like Star Wars and Raiders and things like that. And seeing it, I realized it wasn't necessarily a great era of themes. It was sort of one guy was great.
Dominating.
The cottage industry.
Except for a couple from Jerry Goldsmith, they almost all came from this one man. It's kind of a supernatural amount that he produced of songs that we all know. So we had a great talk with these two people. Frank Marshall has known his father, and John Williams were musicians together, so he has known him since he was born. And here's my fun fact from the interview. Frank Marshall's father wrote the theme song to the Munsters.
Oh.
Is actually my ringtone.
Oh, get out. Wait. No,
Somebody call Richard.
You gotta give us the full song, Richard.
Dun, 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 dun. I think there are lyrics. I think there's like...
Are there?
There's a version out there with the what ever happened to Eddie, the kid from Lane?
I had no idea that song had actual lyrics to it.
On the show, it doesn't have any lyrics, but
Oh, okay. That's what it is then.
it's
Fascinating. All right. Well, what else did Kathy say? Any highlights you want to drop on the pod?
I don't know that it's specific, but it's really interesting, like their look inside the process and what it's like to work with him, and just what it's like the feeling of sitting in a room the first time. One thing that's interesting, so he gets these orchestras to play it, and these sort of revived orchestral scores, and he gets this kind of murderer's row of the great musicians in the world to perform, and they sit down. And he hands out the score, and they play it right then. Like there's
cold?
No, it's a cold.
He wants to capture them like with a cold read, essentially.
Oh, interesting.
And that's so they are discovering it as they're playing it for the first time. So the Raiders theme is unfolding right before them, like never heard before.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, very interesting conversation. Two great producers, and they reveal John Williams at 92. Now he conducts 3-hour concerts and
Stamina.
composes every day and plays golf every day and is entirely lucid and clear-headed as much as anybody. And they give the secret, and Frank and Kathleen are also incredibly productive.
What is the secret? What is he like eating chili peppers like you always
want me
hear?
to give it away?
Oh no, we'll all read your column instead.
Yeah,
Richard.
gotta read it and find out.
Is it doing podcasts? Because that'd be good news for me.
Exactly.
Listening to earnings calls, John.
Yeah.
That's
Earnings
what it
calls.
is.
Yes, the John Williams
He
secret
listens
sauce.
to at least
Listen.
3 every quarter.
Know
Exactly.
the EBITDA.
John asked the
Never-
best questions.
Never neglect the EBITDA.
You're going to live forever, Sean.
So read the article, and also the movie premieres on Disney Plus on Friday. And if you're here in LA, you can see it for a week's engagement at El Capitan.
Oh,
there you
all
go.
right, very
Disney
cool.
Theater. Okay.
Speaking of Disney Plus, since it is Halloween, is anybody else watching Agatha All Along? Yeah? No?
I think you know my answer, but Richard?
You guys
I'm not, no.
killing me
kinda-
here. It's good. It's good. It's like
I've heard it's
near
good.
WandaVision levels good.
That sounds good. I didn't see WandaVision either, but I know people love that show. So I saw the Dune. I went to the Dune premiere last night. I saw the Dune series, so that was very good. So very, very good. Yeah, I mean, it's HBO, man. They just still have this. They spend the money, they do it right. It just has that feel to it of an HBO series. Yeah, and you don't have to know a lot about Dune to watch the show.
You don't have to have seen the movies.
Clearly, I do not. So that would be I'm your case study right there. I know a little bit, but not a lot. But
don't have to be a big Timmy Chalamet fan to transition over to the TV series.
Never hurts, listen, but yeah, not mandatory for sure.
All right. Well, if anybody wants to write to us about your opinions about, I don't know, Agatha All Along, I'd be happy to have that conversation.
Somebody please
with
write
you.
Elaine.
Or
Somebody please write Elaine.
Or if you want to write to Sean about Comcast earnings, I'm sure he'd be happy to hear you out.
All notes are welcome.
We can be reached at podcasts@theankler.com. Or what, Richard, if somebody wants to reach you, richard@theankler.com, right?
Richard@theankler.com. You go to my columns, you can see my special Signal QR code also.
Oh.
I thought you were joking. I thought you were like, you can see the bat signal. No. It's actually Signal. Richard's on Signal
actual
now.
Signal, yes. The actual code. So, yeah.
But
Yes.
Richard@theankler.com also works.
Yes, or send him your hot tips on Signal. All right. Well, thanks everybody so much for listening. Make sure you're signed up for our suite of newsletters at theankler.com or find us on social at The Ankler. Thanks so much for listening, everybody, and we will see you next week.